Yo, what's up, guys? This is gonna be another client story for y'all. This one's gonna be a good perspective for you guys that want to buy like an investment property and uh, kind of maybe see it from one perspective. So this is just gonna show you guys a different way to kind of see things through a client of mine's perspective. All right. So I had an investor looking to buy a three family a couple years back, and really they just wanted to cash flow some money, right? They had a good amount of down payment down, 25% down, and essentially what they were looking for is a return of a specific amount. I won't dive too deep into the numbers, but they had their mind set on a certain price. They didn't really care about the property. They didn't care much to do with it as long as the numbers made sense, right? Cash flow and expenses, net income, all that good stuff, and cap rate. All right. For y'all that don't know, cap rate is if you take your net income divided by the property value. I try and aim for anywhere between 7 to 10, 11% is a good cap rate. Anything above that is like phenomenal, right? Anything below 7% is kind of like, is it worth the investment? Anywhere between 3 and 6 is like a stable for the most part. Anything below that, it's like, all right, it's like the red zone, right? But anyways, so this property was very little maintenance just because of the layout of it, the logistics of it, where it was located, the amenities and all that type of stuff, plus the size, right? It wasn't anything like too crazy big. It didn't have too many bedrooms, so it was relatively low maintenance, right? So all 3 floors were rented out, making good money for a year to a year and a half, right? Then something went down with one of the tenants and they were unable to pay the rent. All right. So of course the owner had to take the hit, pay the mortgage out of his pocket, pay any kind of extra expenses on all that type of stuff. All right. So what they ended up doing was actually evicting the tenant because of non-payment. We're talking it was 8-9 months of no payments. Now that I think about it, it might have been a full year. And all those costs, the mortgage, water, and the getting lawyers involved and all that type of stuff, like the legal fees, was all incurred by the owner, right? So they ended up taking a hit, financially because of it. And I say all that to say this: they ended up selling the house shortly after. It was one of those, they didn't want to deal with tenants anymore. They had a pretty bad experience, all things considered. They did put a good down payment. They maintained the property pretty well. It's the name of the game, right? Not everyone is gonna be in a position to pay the rent 100% of the time, because life happens. Not only for me, for you, for everybody, right? So it's something to keep in mind, something to think about when you are going out there renting your property and expecting a certain number of returns and all that type of stuff. And usually I try and tell you guys to find your own tenants, to vet them properly and all that type of stuff. And this was one of those cases where they did actually do that. They found the tenant themselves, rented it out, did background checks and all that type of stuff and everything. So they did the legwork, they did all that. But again, guys, it just happens. Nothing is 100%, nothing at all. So something to keep in mind. You might get burned, and it's just one of those things. Sometimes you just got to take the hit and keep it pushing. So my thoughts at the time is just don't expect people to always pay, not only pay just in general, but also pay on time, right? Sometimes people are going to be late. Sometimes, again, life happens. Situations happen where you, as an owner, as a investor, as a rental property owner, you're gonna have to take a hit sometimes. All right. So let me know if it's happened to you. Let me know if you've had to take a hit or come up with some money or expenses that you weren't expecting, because it does happen. So I'd love to hear your story. All right. So drop a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. All right. Take care.